Welcome to New Horizons. I'm Suzanne Barnett, your host. Tonight we are having a very special show, and I must say it's not only going to be educational, but it is so colorful because of my guests. I would like to introduce Miss Pamela Palajac, who is I screwed up your name, but that's okay. It's good to screw up. And you are a graduate gemologist.
Graduate jeweler gemologist. I studied jewelry design as well.
Okay, okay. And you two are from Designs?
Dean's Designs.
Dean's Designs. Next to me is the very talented, handsome Larry Hayano.
Hi, Suzanne.
And you are a certified gemologist as well as a master goldsmith.
Correct.
What else do you do?
I'm a graduate gemologist, but through HES, I'm a certified gemologist. And we just brought a couple of different things for you to take a look at, from pearls to a couple synthetic stones to natural stones to our new Ethiopian opals. So we have a lot of different things to talk about as far as care for pearls and other jewelry, as far as how to keep them clean and keep everything looking nice and sparkly.
Well, I was amazed, Larry, when you told me to get my pearls out of the safe deposit box.
Yes, unfortunately, during the weekends at the banks, they don't keep the air conditioning on, so it gets very hot and humid inside of the vaults. And that, because of the pearls being a natural organic material, would suck the moisture out of those pearls and actually turn them into a dust. So anything that is organic, like pearls or opals, not very good to keep them in a safety deposit box for that reason, that they can damage them.
So people don't realize that some of these minerals are part of, they're alive.
Yes, exactly. Like pearls, they actually get oils from your skin, and by doing that, it brings out more of the luster of the pearls. And also, hairspray is very, very bad for pearls. The general rule for pearls is it's the last thing that you put on before you leave the house to go out, and the first thing that you take off when you get home. And that way you can preserve your pearls and keep them looking very nice.
That's so important, Larry. What else should we know about our jewelry?
Well, as far as for diamonds, oils and grease attract to them very, very rapidly, or very easily. So that's why it's better for us to keep them as clean as possible, and by bringing them to the store, we can do that for you with the tools that we have.
So we shouldn't try to clean our own jewelry like in ivory soap and water?
Well, you can do that at home, but you can get very close to what we can do, but we have professional tools that we can get a better job done.
Of course.
But if you have to do it at home, the best is using a ivory Palmolive, kind of a liquid dishwashing detergent, with lukewarm water and a soft bristled toothbrush. Do not use toothpaste. That's too abrasive and can scratch your jewelry.
What about diamonds? They say diamonds are the hardest.
It's the hardest to scratchability. They do have 4 different directions of cleavage in a diamond, so you can chip and break a diamond if you hit it the wrong way or hit it with the wrong material, so you have to be careful.
I want to ask you a question about the fact that today costume jewelry is so effective. I mean, like, you can't tell a zirconia diamond from a regular diamond?
Well, the things with the costume jewelry is made to be worn and enjoyed. So the cost really shouldn't make that big of a difference between whether you enjoy it or not. If it's costume and you enjoy wearing it, then that's what you should be wearing.
I see.
As far as what we have here today is this pendant right here is a pendant that started off by being just a block of synthetic material that is a corundum material. Our customer brought it in and asked us to cut some jewelry pieces out of this block that is similar to these pieces right here, but in a bigger size. And what I did is we took it to our cutter, who sawed that piece in half and made this piece here, and then made the earrings out of the side pieces. It was started off as just a round block. And out of that piece, very, very nicely cut synthetic corundum that's a ruby color. And then we went ahead and hand designed the mounting around it with the diamonds coming around with the bail. And then we also did a special backing behind here with our design that we're doing with a computer now, that we can get very intricate line designs.
What's the purpose of that?
Well, we want to keep the backing like this so that we have a nice steady base, so that when we're wearing the pendant, it doesn't flop from side to side. It has a nice back basing so that it's going to lay flat on the chest.
Okay, I'm going to ask both of you, what is it like to be a gemologist compared to being just a regular person that sells jewelry?
Well, I think, Suzanne, it's having the education that kind of tops it all, in my opinion. We're able to educate people as we're trying to educate today, the care of the pearls, the gemstones, and if they're synthetic versus natural. And another nice thing, too, that Larry and I agree, that people can come to us and trust that we'll tell them if it's a synthetic, if it's a natural. You know, so
how do you tell that?
Certain properties, usually a lot of synthetics are very, very clean, whereas your natural counterparts will have inclusions, which will kind of be a little easy to tell, with Larry and I having the GG from the GIA, from Gemological Institute of America. Yeah.
Now, would you mind showing your jewelry, Pamela?
Oh, thank you, Suzanne, for asking. Actually, before I started working for Larry at Dean's Designs, this was prior to 2008, I started working for Larry in May. And I started acquiring a lot of jewelry after that. So I had a lot of loose gemstones laying around, so I started looking at his designs very seriously and started building and designing with Larry. So the piece I have on my neck is a Tahitian pearl. It's about 11.5 millimeter, almost 12 millimeter. And this is one of Larry's designs that has the kind of a wishbone look with the diamonds.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's stunning. I fell in love with this piece, and I thought it really accentuated the pearl.
Beautiful. And show your ring.
Okay, so I've got two of Larry's rings on. Well, not Larry's, they're mine, but they were created within Dean's Designs. The pearl right here is not quite a golden South Sea, but it's close. But I bought it for the color. The diamonds that are flanking either side were actually a pair of earrings that I owned. And I thought they were a nice complement to the stone itself. And on this one, I actually did a square shank design with Larry's help, and it helped balance the ring so it sits better on my finger. It's beautiful. This one is actually the over-under design, and this is diamonds all the way around.
On either side.
On either side.
As well as the top.
As well as diamonds inside here, about 2 carats of big diamonds with smaller diamonds flanked underneath to give more sparkle back to the eye. And again, one of Larry's masterful designs I absolutely fell in love with. I didn't have an engagement ring prior to working for Larry. I got married 2 months before working for him. And once I started working there, I started accumulating, this being my first piece. Yeah.
I mean, I cannot imagine people that don't like jewelry. I'm just crazy about it from the time I was 5. But some people just don't care about jewelry. The other thing is, I think men should wear jewelry. Tell about your hot necklace, Larry.
Well, this is something new that we just came out with. And what they're doing is they're drilling holes into the natural black diamond. So this is 200 carats of black diamond, and what we've done with it is actually went ahead and put it onto a string so that man can wear it, and it doesn't have too much brilliance where it's in your face, but it has just enough to catch and give it a little bit more of that more masculine look. So it really has a nice look to it.
But since you're such a brilliant gemologist, why don't you wear diamonds? Why not?
Well, you can wear anything, just like men should be able to wear pearls too. And this is one of our new clasps too. It's for magnetic, so people that have a problem with working a clasp, this works very well. But
let's see how that looks on you.
And see how easy that was to put on.
Men can wear pearls too.
Well, I'm not that crazy about that. I'm not that crazy about it, but why not?
Yeah.
You know, really.
Yeah. Beautiful. And see how easy that is to put on and off.
That's great.
It's fabulous.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. I come in and I have 3 rings, and they're old-fashioned, and it has a few stones. And I say, Larry and Pamela, Do you have any idea? What can I do with this?
Well, we take you into the store, show you some of the designs that we have done before, try to figure out what your lifestyle is like so that we can kind of suggest which way we want to go with that design and make it more of an integral part of your life so that it's something that you can wear every day. A lot of these pieces that we have here can take off of whatever piece that you brought in so that we can incorporate that into a new design.
And how do those, I always ask my artists, how do you get the idea? You know, when you have your pencil and paper and you think, how am I going to do this?
Well,
how do you do that?
That's where we take off of the customer. We get the enthusiasm from the customer, and by what they're looking at and what they feed us information is how we make that special piece just for them. Because everybody has their own special likes and dislikes, so we have to incorporate that into the design so it speaks to them. We want that design to really be a part of their lives. So
but how does it come to you? How does the idea come to you?
That's just where we've been doing this for quite a few years, that we can pick up on what's important to customers and what isn't. So we try to put that same thing into our work.
So show us some more of these gorgeous pieces. In fact, a lot of people don't know how, say, a pendant is made.
Well, what we started with this one, we had the Ethiopian opals, and we had a special where we had these different products brought into us, and this is one that we're making right now, is we're making an earring design to complement this necklace. So we started off with these tops, and we made the back basing and set that up so that this is going to be the top for the earring, and this is going to be the dangle for the earring. So these are going to be hanging down underneath, and so we'll have a dangle pear shape underneath the round top that's going to go into the ear, and that's going to complement the necklace as an ensemble.
So tell about the lost wax. What does lost wax
Well, what we
mean?
started off with is we make these pieces in wax as the backing so that that's what's going to be shot into gold. What we see in wax is what we're going to go ahead and cast into metal. So these will be white gold after we finish them, where the wax is now.
So if do you melt the wax, or what do you do?
What we do is we have a special plaster of Paris base that we set the waxes into, melt the wax out, and in that cavity go ahead and shoot the gold into that cavity. So what we have in the wax is exactly what you're going to get into the metal.
And so then, this is a very, because I'm crazy about opals, and I understand I might get a necklace sometime.
Well, we're going to have to work on that for you. I know how much you love these opals.
Yeah,
This is, like
tell
I said,
about
the new
those
Ethiopian
opals.
opals. So.
Oh, those opals
Go ahead, Pam.
just are gorgeous. Tell about opals, and how do they? They're in a rock, right? And how do you get those opals out? And how do you get the beads so perfect?
Well, the beads are cut by a lapidary who's skilled to do what he does. And what's so beautiful about these particular pieces is the uniformity with them. It's got to be very consistent in the color. But with these, we actually did a little more blues on this one. But as you can see, Suzanne, on these, the rondelles, as they're called, the polished rondelles, were so beautifully put together, and they graduated the sizes so meticulously to make this strand really work around a woman's neck or a man's neck.
Would you wear those?
I would.
Yeah.
Of course
Yeah.
you would. Of course you would. So would I.
Yeah.
So tell about some other your jewels.
Well,
They're
this
just
is a
gorgeous.
very, very special piece here. This is a sapphire that I found that when I first saw it, I just fell in love with it because you don't even need the light from the studio here to make this sparkle. Even when we take the light away from the stone, it has its own internal light. It's orange sapphire, and it's just one of the most beautiful sapphires I've ever seen. And we just that found a new home. One of our customers just purchased that, and it's going to be a wonderful gift.
I guess.
That was a very hard day for Larry to sell this
get-
piece.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites,
If
definitely.
I could make one more mention on this, Suzanne. This is natural, unheated. So the color is completely natural, untouched by man.
So some of the stones are heated. Tell about that, Pamela.
A lot of corundum, a lot of blue topaz, a lot of stones out on the industry are commonly heated to some degree, and that is a known fact. Now, if they're not, for example, these two stones right here, I do happen to know those are untreated. Excuse me, this one is treated, this one is not. These are tourmalines from South America, and this is a natural, unheated tourmaline.
That
right
was
here,
very rare for that color.
copper-bearing tourmaline.
Because this
very
color is
rare.
what they would heat up and it would turn into a blue color.
Oh, because tourmaline has many different colors?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what about the green? Is that an emerald?
No, that is also the same family of tourmaline. The very same. It's just been heated to become this color. So the original color might have been this. The new color is now this.
And the heating absolutely changes the...
It's stable.
It's stable.
Stable color.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's not going to revert back to the original color.
Oh, but what about the alexandrite?
Alexandrite's a bicolored stone.
Oh,
it
it
has a
is.
change of color in the
Yeah,
stone.
if you go outside.
That's naturally occurring.
Yeah.
From one light to a different light, from incandescent to a fluorescent light, will change the color inside of the stone.
Oh,
So
Julie,
it's just beautiful material. All the phenomenal stones right now have been very popular. Stones with an eye in it, or stones with a star. A lot of those are very, very popular now. And like these with the multicolors, we're getting away from just the solid colors. Everything is getting into fashion statements like this right here. For this time of the year, it has the soft pastels, which are very nice. And that's one thing with the colored stones. We can match a colored stone to match whatever your mood is or whatever clothing that you want to match up to.
well, say you got... If I had that ring, I wouldn't wear any other color. So that's kind of limiting, don't you think?
Well, again, it's a complementary color. When you're using this type of a color here, you got orange and red that you can wear, and there's a lot of different things that you can go
It
with.
does. It
with
turns
this tone.
orangey.
I mean, for you with your your hair coloration and your
Spectacular.
skin tone, this would be
Is
perfect.
that, you
for
going to make me one as a gift?
This is it.
Okay. Well, I have to make a decision whether I want the opals or not. But opals, I understand, are very fragile.
They are soft.
Well, how come?
Well, because there's percentage of water in the opal that's going to give it that play of color on the inside.
Oh,
So
that's
again, these are another stones that you cannot really leave in a safety deposit box or it will suck the moisture out and they will start to craze, which meaning they'll spider web and crack from the inside out, which is not good. You
very
don't
Not
want
good
that
at
to
all.
happen.
Not good at all.
Yeah,
So
very
tell
traumatic.
us more about, do you have any, well, I don't want to say it, but do you have any bad stories?
Well, just like what they say, opals,
Yeah.
as far as the,
No,
the
I mean
terminology.
like a customer.
Well, there's always different things that go on.
That's
but
it. That's it. How do you deal?
try to do your best to make your customer understand that you're there for them. You know, we're there to help them in any way that we can in the jewelry industry, because that's our business. That we're the professionals, and so any information that we have, we like to pass on to help that person enjoy their jewelry.
But it's like hairdressers. You know, people get so irate.
Well, you are dealing with a very touchy objects because,
That's
again,
it.
these pieces have been in the family for many years, and that's what we have to convey is it doesn't matter how much it's worth. It's a personal item. It's that sentimental value that we try to install our very best work that we can on every piece that we do. So we don't treat anything any different because of the dollar value.
I see. So say a person isn't happy with the final piece. How do you deal with them?
Well, that's where we start from working with a wax, so we eliminate a lot of those
Yes.
by not just drawing a picture and saying, we're going to make this from that picture. At least we're coming out with a wax so they have a three-dimensional object that they can turn and see, make sure the balance is there and the height is right. And by that, it eliminates a lot of the question of how this piece is going to look. So that's one of the best things that we can
Well,
do.
I have a personal experience. My first husband loved jewelry, and he gave me something, I can't remember, for my birthday, and I didn't like it. But I couldn't tell him I didn't like it. So what do you think about that?
Well, that's where you have to have that trust between the two of you that you want the best. I'm sure if he knew that, he would have changed it and wanted to make it the best for you because he would want you to wear it and enjoy it.
Well, I wore it for years and then I purposely lost it.
Oh dear.
Well, see, that's where we come into play because we love taking pieces like that and altering them because we get a lot of pieces that people inherit and it just doesn't fit their style. So we take pieces apart from other pieces and put it into a new piece.
Repurpose, we like to say. Yeah.
What do you like about your profession, Pamela?
I think it's the interaction with the customer. Really, when they come to us and they bring a concept or they have no concept whatsoever most of the time, right? So they'll come to us with maybe some pieces they've inherited, as Larry had said. So they bring them in and then we say, okay, well, what do you want out of this? How do you expect to wear this? And so that journey sort of begins at that point. And then we go on and start doing the wax and the drawing and the design and everything. And then once you see the wax and they see the wax, that's where the excitement begins for them because they get to see their whole idea of that piece come to life. So that's the exciting part.
Well, so I would think one of the things that people should know is whether it's a husband or wife or lover or something, they really need to consult with the other one. No surprises. What do you think?
Well, it goes both ways. It's kind of nice to be able to surprise somebody, but you have to put your homework in to see what it is that that person is going to like, and listening and you know, going out and seeing other pieces of jewelry or listening to what they say about people that are wearing other pieces of jewelry, whether they like a certain style or not. Because there are so many styles now in different jewelry that we do make that we can make just about anything. So it's just us getting the right direction so that we know which way to go.
Yeah, what a great profession. It's better than being a doctor or a lawyer. I mean, this is nothing.
Well, we get to work with beautiful gems like this.
It's not so horrible.
I think it's just great. But
it's very fun.
Okay, here's a question. Larry, you happen to love that stone. How do you feel when someone buys the darn thing?
Well, I make them promise that they're going to bring it back to me so I get to clean it and I get to bond with it again.
Yeah, it is kind of a bond, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. That one was. From the very first moment that I saw that stone, I knew that I had to have it. So.
And see, that's so. In your profession, at least you have such a large part of it. You know, sometimes you have
the stone.
It's all in the stone. And yet, here's the other devil's advocate thing, is that like I'm so attached to my especially jewelry. What if I have to give it up? You know, I have to learn that it's only stuff.
No, it's just a material.
The same with both of you. And people get so attached and they, you know, they go nuts. How do you deal with that?
People will bring things to us that they think they're ready to move on with, and they're not. And they're not.
Mean that they
sometimes.
Want to sell. That's
well,
right.
Either that, or if they really think they want to take it apart to make something new out of it, that may not always be the case because they start getting a little remorseful and they start thinking, well, maybe this isn't the right thing for me to do right now. So, you know, that's when you say, okay, that's fine, we understand, and that's, you know, they'll come back at a later date. They normally do.
Well, my fantasy is I always wanted to work in a pawn shop. And I understand you have.
I did, yes.
What was that like, Pamela?
Colorful. Might encompass about as much color as you see here.
Really?
Yeah. I was very young. I was in my early 20s, and it was sort of to subsidize going to school and working, and you know, I was waiting tables, so I was like multi-purpose person. But yeah, I worked for a pawn shop on and off for about 7 years.
That long?
Yeah, it was a long time.
So you really saw a slice of life.
Oh my goodness.
But think you think of those people being really hard up, but not necessarily.
Not all of them.
Yeah, you see all kinds in a pawn shop.
Not all of them. Yeah. You really do, actually. You see people come in on a Friday afternoon and pawn everything they own, and then Monday morning they come back and pay it all off because they had a good time over the weekend or something.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
But someone
absolutely.
could have bought it.
Probably. Well, no, actually, that's incorrect because most pawn shops will hold things anywhere from 15 to 30 days.
Oh, so they do have an opportunity. Well, now with all these reality shows on TV, I saw a pawn shop show, and that was very interesting. But you all are so high class, you know.
Well,
you're
we're
so-
designers, yeah.
Thank you, Suzanne.
designers.
Yeah,
It's a different-
It's a
whole
different level.
thing.
It's a
Yeah,
different level.
yeah.
It really is.
And I
yeah.
would think yours would be so satisfying and, you know, so creative.
The look on the customer's face when they see the end result, not even just the wax, when the end result, we open it up and they see it and their eyes light up and they smile, it's just incredibly rewarding.
You should take pictures
We do.
of the face. Oh, no. No, you can't do that.
We should, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
jewelry does have that effect.
Yeah.
It really does bring that sparkle to people's eyes, especially when we come out with something that really accentuates the stone.
Of all
This is
things
really
here,
nice.
because we just have a couple of minutes, what's your favorite thing?
Well, I probably have to still keep going back to my sapphire here. but
Okay.
This is
In
a
this way.
beautiful sapphire. here.
yeah.
This is a 50 carat blue sapphire, unheated. And again, this is to get that natural color. This stone came right out of the ground looking like this.
Oh,
so
wow. Well, maybe I'll
there's
take
nothing
that
done
piece
to
as
it.
my gift, okay?
There you go.
Since we're at the end of the show,
Well, you
I'm
like
gonna
big
put,
jewelry.
Yeah, she
I
loves
know.
big
I don't know
jewelry.
what makes you say that. I want to thank both of you.
Thank you, Suzanne, for having us. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, and I wish both of you all the success which you're
Thank
having
you so
and
much. This was
continue
very fun.
in the best of health. And I want to thank my adorable crew. If I was a billionaire, I would buy each one of my crew members a piece of jewelry, whether they liked it or not.
Oh, you know where to come.
I
You know where to come.
I know.
You know where we are.
And of course, I want to thank my viewers for watching. I just love doing this show, and I just can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I...